I live with ADHD for 42 years, and what I'm about to tell you in the next 5, 6, 7 minutes could truly change your life. And I wish that I could tell you that at some point I finally figured it all out, that there was some magic moment where everything just clicked. But to be honest, it's a mess. A beautiful, chaotic, frustrating, sometimes hilarious mess. And over the years I've definitely learned some things. Not from books or doctors, but from actually living with this brain my whole life. So let's talk about it. I have learned that we need to take massive action and stop waiting for the perfect plan. There is no perfect time, no perfect mood, no perfect system. If you wait until you feel like it, you will be waiting for a very long time. You would be sitting here overthinking, worrying and doing nothing while life just slips away. ADHD means motivation is unreliable. If you want something, you have to go and take action before you feel ready, because you will never feel ready for anything. If you want to start something, just start. Messy, unorganized, imperfect action will always beat the perfect plan you never follow through. I have learned that risk-taking isn't optional, but it's survival. Look, if you have ADHD, you're already breaking the mold. You don't fit neatly into the world's idea of how things should be done. So why waste time trying? The biggest wins in my life didn't come from playing it safe. They came from taking a leap before I was ready. Quitting, starting, failing, trying again. People with ADHD need that sense of urgency, that edge, that thrill. That's where we thrive. So take the leap and figure things out along the way. I have learned that personal development isn't just a hobby, it's a necessity. For years, I thought I was just bad at life. I beat myself up over every little mistake, every failure. But then I realized something. My brain isn't the problem. The problem was trying to live like everyone else. So reading, learning, exercise, mindset work, these aren't just nice to haves for us. They are absolutely essential to make this life work. They're the only reason why I am still standing. The only reason I didn't let my mistakes define me. If you have ADHD and you're not actively working on understanding yourself, working on yourself, good luck. Because the world isn't designed for us. We have to design it for ourselves. I have learned that self-compassion isn't a weakness. It's giving yourself grace. I used to think that being hard to myself would make me better. Well, it didn't work. You don't beat ADHD by punishing yourself every time you mess up. You need to learn to work with your brain, not against it. Late on a deadline, forgot an appointment, said something awkward, it happens, just move on. Beating yourself up won't make you better at life. It will just make you more miserable. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to a friend. You deserve it. I have learned that being different isn't something to fix, but it makes you special. For most of my life, I tried to be normal. But what does it even mean? Now I've given up on that completely. I think differently, I act differently, I live differently. And that's not a problem, that's our advantage. The second I stopped fighting it, my life got so much easier. Trying to be normal is exhausting, so just be you. I have learned that exercise isn't optional but a fundamental for my brain. People always ask me how I stay consistent with exercise. The truth, I don't do it to look good. I do it because if I don't move my body, my brain shuts down. Exercise isn't optional for ADHD. It's medicine. It burns off the chaos in my head. It gives me focus and makes me feel like myself. Seriously, if you're not moving your body, start. Your brain needs it. I learned to stop taking things personally. People with ADHD tend to be way too sensitive to rejection and criticism. But here's the thing, most of the time it's not about you. And once you stop taking everything personally, life gets so much easier. Not everything needs to be decoded like a secret message. Just let it go. You know what's exhausting? Worrying about what everybody else thinks. You know what's freeing? Realizing that nobody actually cares that much. Once you let go for the need of approval, you start living on your terms. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves and their own lives to care about what you are doing. So do whatever makes you happy. When you stop caring what other people think about you, that's true freedom. I learned that ADHDers ghost their friends for no reason. No drama, we just disappear. We don't ghost because we don't care. We ghost because we suck at objective permanence. If someone isn't right in front of us, we forget they exist. Not on purpose, it just happens. And it's one of the hardest parts of ADHD relationships. It's difficult, but see it this way. Good friends are like the stars. Even if you don't see them, you know they are there. And when you catch up, it's like you've never been away. So if you have been on either side of this, just know that it's not personal. I have learned that it is all about dopamine. For years I chased dopamine in all the wrong ways. Procrastination, distractions, unhealthy habits. But when I started intentionally getting my dopamine from healthy things, my life completely changed. Exercise, gratitude, cold showers, meditation, creating things instead of just consuming. I know that people won't like what I'm about to say, but here it is. You need to take responsibility for your life. Yeah, I get it. ADHD is brutal. Maybe your life feels like a constant train wreck. Maybe you're stuck in a cycle of failed jobs, broken relationships, unfinished projects. Maybe you hate the way your brain works. And you know what? That might all be true. But here's the question. How much of that is actually your responsibility? Because the truth is, you have the power to change. Not overnight, not easily, but you do have that power. So stop waiting for someone else to make decisions for you. Stop looking for excuses why things don't work for you. Instead, start finding ways to make them work. Yeah, it's unfair, and yeah, it's harder for us, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still our job to figure it out. You make choices, consciously or not, and those choices shape your reality. If you tell yourself you can't, you're right. If you tell yourself you can, you're also right. So what's it gonna be? Like Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. And I want to be honest here. There are still days that feel impossible. Days when I feel completely overwhelmed, unmotivated, just stuck in my head. And those days are difficult. But it's okay to feel that way sometimes. It's part of being you. And the second we give ourselves permission to feel it instead of fighting it, we will feel a sense of relief. Life is hard sometimes, and I know it is for you too. But learning to control your mind, directing your thoughts, and allowing yourself to be yourself, that's life-changing. 42 years of ADHD, and here's what I really learned. This brain isn't broken. It's just different. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because it makes me, me. So if you're still struggling, still feeling like you don't fit in, just know you don't have to. The goal isn't to be normal. The goal is to build a life that actually works for you and a life that makes you happy. And trust me, when you understand that, that's when things starting to get really, really fun. Now, watch this video here and I'll see you in the next one.